Good morning. This is Pastor Brian. Thank you for joining me today as we read a chapter a day from First Corinthians. Today, chapter 5. I'll be reading from the Common English Bible. Feel free to follow along or just listen today as we read chapter 5. Everyone has heard that there is sexual immorality among you. There is a type of immorality that isn't even heard among the Gentiles. A man is having sex with his father's wife. And you're proud of yourselves instead of being so upset that the one who did this thing is expelled from your community. Though I'm absent physically, I'm present in the spirit, and I've already judged the man who did this as if I were present. When you meet together in the name of our Lord Jesus, I'll be present in spirit with the power of our Lord Jesus. At that time, we need to hand this man over to Satan to destroy his human weakness so that his spirit might be saved on the day of the Lord. Your bragging isn't good. Don't you know that a tiny grain of yeast makes a whole batch of dough rise? Clean out the old yeast so that you can be a new batch of dough, given that you're supposed to be unleavened bread. Christ, our Passover lamb, has been sacrificed. So let's celebrate the feast with the unleavened bread of honesty and truth, not with old yeast or with the yeast of evil and wickedness. I wrote to you in my earlier letter not to associate with sexual immoral people. But I wasn't talking about the sexually immoral people in the outside world by any means, or the greedy, or the swindlers, or people who worship false gods. Otherwise, you would have to leave the world entirely. But now I'm writing to you not to associate with anyone who calls themselves brother or sister who is sexually immoral, greedy, someone who worships false god, an abusive person, a drunk, or a swindler. Don't even eat with anyone like this. What do I care about judging outsiders? Isn't it your job to judge insiders? God will judge outsiders. Expel the evil one from among you. So that was chapter 5, quite a divergence, but a very specific topic that Paul had heard about and was obviously very upset about. So there's the obvious point of what's going on here, but I think on the other side of things is that, when we see things that aren't going, or that are going on that shouldn't be done, that we should call people out on it, that we should, talk to them about it, that we should try to help them in that thing that is going on, in that weakness, as Paul puts it in verse 5. So that they may grow again in the Spirit, or be saved on the day of the Lord, as Paul says. And that we should not encourage people to do things that are against our faith. Not that necessarily that any of us do, but that we need to be mindful of those kinds of things. And that we need to really help one another out, I think, is another point that Paul doesn't directly say, but I think is something that we can definitely say here, is that we need to lift each other up, help one another out, and avoiding those things, whether it's being sexually immoral, greedy, worshiping other things, false gods, whether that's money or power or the things that we talk about in today's world about false gods. People who are abusive, drunks, swindlers. We should work to help those people out in our community so that they can move from those ways and have a better and deeper relationship with Christ, one that Christ wants to see and have. And that it says to focus on ourselves and our own community, and that God will judge those who are outside. So don't worry about those people. So that's kind of what I see in chapter 5. What do you see? Write it down. Share it with a friend. Share it with us. We'd love hearing from you, and can't wait to chat with you again tomorrow as we explore chapter 6. So take care of yourselves, and God bless. Goodbye.